I'm willing to bet that you want to make money on social media. You're probably spending hours coming up with content ideas that don't get results or views. You're focusing on your follower count, or you're getting burnt out and you're lacking consistency. If that sounds like you, here's exactly what I want you to do. Use my content research system that I use for myself as well as my clients. To do this, you're going to want to grab the spreadsheet that I have for you in the description. It's completely free. I have it fully customized to track your research, your strategy, and your content planner all in one. Go ahead and grab that spreadsheet and make yourself a copy. Now be sure and stay until the end because I'm going to give you a ton of other free resources. Hello and welcome to my corner of YouTube where we talk all things social media, video editing, and design, but we actually make it doable. I'm Stacey, your social media bestie and a digital marketing strategist. Of the content spreadsheet, what we're going to do is pull up the very first tab here and yours should be blank. We're starting with our content research and a competitor analysis. It may sound daunting, but honestly, it's not hard to do at all. It's just a little time consuming, so let's jump right in. You're going to head over to Instagram or TikTok. You can do this in either one. What you want to do is find some of the top creators in your industry, search them up, make sure that you are following them, and I'm going to walk you through this whole process. Right off the bat, we've got Whitney Bartlett Social. She is absolutely amazing. I honestly found her on TikTok a few years ago, back when she had just started. She switched over to Instagram and blew up. Like, she is just an icon. So she is someone, I'm going to unfollow her just to show you guys an example here. So what you're going to do is make sure that you follow your competitors, the top ones in your industry, and then below that, Instagram is going to generate a list of other suggested accounts who are also people in your industry and maybe top creators. So for Whitney, I want to make sure I copy the link to her profile, and then I'm going to go back over to the content spreadsheet. And I'm going to add the profile URL to this spreadsheet under link. I'm going to make sure that I have her name here. Not sure if I'm even spelling that right. Again, you can search these on any platform that you want. I highly recommend Facebook, or not. I highly recommend Instagram or TikTok. They're just easier to use. And then we'll go back into Instagram. And I'm going to click on some of these suggested accounts. Let's see here. Another one that I absolutely adore is Maria Wendt. I have learned so much from her. So I'm going to copy her profile URL. Make sure I drop it in this spreadsheet here. You can see that I already got started with 2 of these. I've got Personal Brand Launch. If you don't know her, look her up. I've got Avery Lewis, Your Social Sister. I want you to have at least 10 to 20 other creators in your industry that you can do a competitor analysis on. We've got our list of at least 10 different creators, and next we're going to move into actually reviewing their content, figuring out what is performing well because they're all in the same industry, and then we're going to script our content. With that being said, we're going to move on to the second tab, which is your content ideas in your content spreadsheet. Again, you're going to go through that list of competitors and search their top performing content. Then what you're going to do is link their top performing content here as a reference so that you can reference it when you are coming back to script your content. So let's jump on over to Instagram again and start doing that. Instagram makes this easy because I will just pull up the Reels tab and I'll look at the number of views that they have. She's got 267,000 followers. If she has any more than that in views, then you know the content went viral. So right off the bat, this one, 870,000 views, went viral. So I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to copy the link, and I do want to hear her hook, so I'm going to back out of it. Click on the audio.
I just go to my phone and place it down. That's an example of a visual hook. And do you see how I just jumped right in as if we were mid-conversation? That is a verbal hook.
Okay, so she's talking about hooks. What was her text hook on screen? Scroll stopping hook tricks. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our spreadsheet here. I'm gonna link the reference video because I copied the link. The views on that video were 870,000. And it was a talking head video. The hook was, I have the worst memory, I swear. Scroll stopping hook tricks.
All right, do you see how I just go to my phone and place it down?
Do you see how I blank? I think that is a really good hook. And then I'm gonna put in parentheses, she also used a visual hook. Okay, the topic of this video is different types of hooks, so we know what topics are also trending and going viral in our industry. So you're gonna do this for at least 30 pieces of content. Now, before we go on to scripting our content, let's go over what the actual content pillars are going to be. Content pillars that I'm currently using that are working on social media right now as of April 2025 are engagement, authority, and personality content. This is hands down the best content strategy if you want to actually make money through your content. So engagement posts include step-by-step guides, tutorials, how-tos, even listicles. We have to stop telling people how to do things or telling them what to do and start showing them how to do something. A great example of this is this video here where I exposed how top creators in my industry are creating a month's worth of content with minimal effort. I'm about to expose the biggest secret in marketing that top creators like Gary Vee, Alex Hormozi, Joe Rogan, and even Grant Cardone are all taking advantage of. If you look at any of their profiles, you can see that they all have thousands of posts. So how are these big creators putting out so much content while also running their various businesses? Let me show you. You're gonna go to YouTube and search one of their names and you will find thousands of long form videos. What you're going to do is copy the link to that video and head on over to Opus Clips. Opus Clips will cut up that long form video into 10 to 20 shorts. Not only that, but it will cut the parts with the most viral potential, transcribe them, and add captions for you. All you have to do is find the ones you like and click download. It literally just takes minutes. Now you have 10 to 20 short form videos that you've made in a matter of minutes, giving you plenty of content to post multiple times a day, because the more you post, the more you grow. If you want a link to sign up, just comment the word short and I'll send it to you. Next, we have authority content. Authority content is really you explaining the why in your content. These focus on shifting beliefs, busting myths, and why your belief or your stance on this matters. Another great example of this is this video here where I explained how I changed this one thing and my client's content went viral with it. I also provided social proof or screenshots to build up that credibility. Other examples of authority content include hot takes, old ways versus new ways of doing things, and in-depth trainings. These types of content should challenge a common belief. They almost want to promote controversy so that people start engaging with your content. They also need to be easy to understand and comprehend. No jargon, no slang. Keep your content at a 5th grade level or below so that anyone and everyone who comes across your content can easily understand it. Provide insight, not just tips. And also share your own personal experiences to make it that much more relatable. If you're just giving generic tips or advice that people could just Google, they're gonna keep scrolling. And lastly, personality posts are for building trust. This is all about sharing who you are. It's your story. It's your why behind whatever it is that you're doing to make money online. People buy from people. They want to be able to relate to you. They don't care what your offer is. They don't care what your business is. They buy from people that they relate to and resonate with. Examples of personality posts include personal stories, and you probably see a lot of day in the life videos like this one, because they perform really well and they allow people to get to know you better. Again, we're using what's working, and we already know that this type of content performs really well across all social media platforms right now. Social media isn't meant to be all business. It is a great place for people to get to know you a little deeper on a more personal level. If I had less than 1,000 followers and wanted to grow to 10,000 followers and beyond, this is exactly what I would do. I'm a content strategist and I help my clients grow and sell on social media every single day. With that being said, your content strategy is everything. You have to find, test, and adapt to what works and scrap what doesn't, or you will get left behind in 200 view jail. And that's something that so many people are trying to break their way out of. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So here's exactly what I would do if I was in your place. To start every month, I would do 12 engagement posts, 12 authority posts, and then the remaining 6 would be personality posts. This gives you 30 days of content strategically separated into 3 different content pillars. Now that we've covered our content strategy, we can write our content scripts. Like I said, we already know that we need 12 engagement posts, so we're gonna start there. Again, engagement posts are tools, hacks, and listicles. But we're not just explaining what to do, we are showing them what to do. We call this pillar engagement because we're not just providing actionable steps, but we're ending with a call to action for people to get a free resource from us to help them implement whatever it is that we're teaching them to do. This is a great way to help you build up your email list, and it boosts your engagement. If you're not selling in your email list, this is your time to start. So from your research, you are going to go through the pieces of content that you think would fit under the engagement umbrella of your content pillar. For me, right off the bat, I can see that teaching people what hooks to use in their content is pretty popular because I only did 6 of these, but 2 of the 6 are on visual and verbal hooks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over to this pillar, the content pillar category here, and I'm gonna make this one engagement, and I'm gonna make this one engagement as well. These are drop-down menus based on the 3 different content pillars that we already went over. So for me, I've got 2 engagement, but I wanna make sure that you have 12 on your spreadsheet. Once you have 12, we're gonna go to the next step, which is using ChatGPT to speed up this process. Next, I want you to take this ChatGPT prompt that I personally use to help me write my scripts. All I have to do is plug in the topic information that we researched, as well as the hook, and ChatGPT takes it from there. Now with this prompt, I do have it linked in the description for you. Make sure that you are only copying and pasting the paragraph for the specific content pillar that you are on, because I do have all 3 of them in this prompt. For example, right now we are on engagement. So I'm gonna take this engagement paragraph right here. I'm gonna copy this and we're gonna go over to ChatGPT and we're gonna paste it here. Right off the bat, I'm going to just paste it here. And I'm going to, at the beginning, I'm going to plug in, I need 12 engagement posts. Engagement posts for Instagram Reels. And then it'll go on to say engagement posts include step-by-step guides, hacks, tools, and or listicles. We have to show, not just tell, which we already went over it. Again, 5th grade reading level terminology. This advice should go beyond service level that everyone else is sharing, and it should be advice that I could ultimately charge for, that I'm giving away for free to build that credibility. At the bottom of your ChatGPT prompt, there is another paragraph that I want to make sure that you guys include. Finally, each piece of content should point to one of my free resources, a YouTube video, or a paid offer, because every piece of content has to have a purpose, right? If we're just posting to throw something up, you're wasting your time. So make sure you take this last paragraph here, copy it, and paste that into the prompt in ChatGPT before you go ahead and hit enter. Now, if you read this, it does say each piece of content should include one of my free resources, a brand guide. This is where you want to upload your brand guide with your tone, your offers, your brand story, etc. So this is where I'm going to upload my own brand guide. And again, your brand guide should include your tone, your target audience, the offers that you have, maybe even your ideal client persona. Everyone should have a brand guide. Again, if you don't have one, you can put everything into ChatGPT, including, what your tone is, how you talk to people, what level of terminology you use, who's your target audience. It really is that simple. I always upload it as a PDF. Now, before you hit enter, this is where I want you to copy and paste the hooks from your content research. So again, I'm gonna go in here. I am just going to grab all of these hooks, highlight them, Control-C for copying. Here are the hooks I want to use. Okay, the hooks I want to use, and then I'm just gonna paste them. There we go. And then I'm gonna make sure that I separate them by a comma. Again, you should have at least 12. For the sake of time, I just did 6. So now you are ready to hit enter and see what ChatGPT puts out. As you can see, it took the actual hook This trending audio hack is blowing up accounts. That's the quick one to use. It gave us a body. And it's even telling you how the overlay trending audio, it's going to say show your screen. And then the text hook on screen is watch what happens when I pair this with my 5-second storytelling formula. It even breaks up into different clips. Of course, these are just suggestions. You can do what you want in terms of editing the content. The call to action it gives us, if you want the full formula and my best hooks, grab my free Reels framework. I'm not gonna say link in bio because we don't say that anymore. I'm gonna have them comment a keyword. I do have a free Reels framework and ChatGPT knows that because it is in the brand guide that I linked. So make sure when you're inputting this, you include all of your offers, your free resources, any YouTube video topics, because a lot of people also direct traffic to YouTube videos, and any of your paid resources as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this script here, except for the link in bio, of course. And I'm going to go back to my content spreadsheet here. And it was the first one. I am going to paste this into my script. And that is it. You're going to do this for all 12 pieces of your engagement posts. So all of these should say engagement, and then next we will move on to authority. Again, we need 12 authority posts. Authority is the why in content. You're explaining why something matters. These focus on shifting beliefs, busting myths, and honestly, they get to be kind of controversial content. So again, you're gonna go back to your research and you're gonna find 12 pieces of authority-based content, and you're gonna label those in your content pillars. I don't have an authority type of content saved, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to Instagram and I am going to research one. Right off the bat, you can see it's
every small creator I've talked to is making this one massive mistake.
Okay, so I'm gonna save this link, go back to my ideation spreadsheet here, and link it, of course. And for our content pillar, again, we're doing authority. So we need 12 of these. And this one says, every content, I'm gonna do blank because my target audience isn't content creators. Every content creator I know is making this one mistake, okay? So that is the hook. Put that in the wrong spot, of course. What was the topic? I need to actually continue watching it to know the topic.
It's the reason they're stuck at the bottom while others are skyrocketing to fame. The biggest mistake I see repeated over and over again is not repurposing your content.
Okay, so that's a great topic, repurposing your content. So that's what I'm gonna document here. Okay, so again, you need 12 of these, and then we're gonna take it back to ChatGPT, and we're gonna go into our prompt, and we're gonna grab the one for authority. Drop it into ChatGPT. And then, of course, I'm gonna give it a prompt like next. I'm gonna do one because I have one piece of content, one authority post, but I want you to put 12 because again, you need 12 to get your 30 days worth of content, and breaking it up into these 3 content pillars. I need one authority post. And again, we're going back to our prompt, copying and pasting this last paragraph so that it knows to reference my offers as well as the hook that I'm about to provide. I'm gonna modify it a little bit. Okay, and then here is the hook. So you're gonna say, here are the hooks. Here are the 12 hooks I wanna use. So I'm gonna go back to my spreadsheet. This is the hook I wanna use. Okay, now we're gonna hit enter. So right off the bat, it filled in the blank for me. Every coach I know is making this one mistake. I do work with a lot of online coaches. So here's the script, and it even gives me like a visual hook, cut to shaking your head while reviewing an Instagram profile or a content calendar. They're creating content to look consistent, not to convert. I love that. They're reposting reels, carousels, quotes, but there's no plan, there's no call to action, there's no strategy behind it, just posting to stay visible. But here's the truth. So if you're still posting and hoping that people figure out what you do, you're leaving money on the table. Scroll down to the call to action. You don't need more posts, you need a plan. If you want the same strategy I use with my clients to turn their content into sales, download my brand guide. So I do have a brand guide. However, I think that this is a great post to promote my monthly membership. So I would just change up the call to action whenever I feel like it's relevant. So I'm going to obviously copy this whole script, put it into my spreadsheet. I also want to make sure I include the hook over here. Although it is documented over on the left, I also want to make sure that I have everything in one place. So again, every coach I know is making this one mistake. Okay, so now we have that script as well. Again, do this for 12 different authority posts, and we will move on to our personality posts. If you uploaded your brand guide, you probably included your personal story, why you're in business, when you started, things like that, as well as your own experience. If that's the case, you can continue like we did for the last 2 content pillars and copy and paste the ChatGPT prompt as well as your hooks. If your brand guide does not include your own personal story, number one, I highly recommend that you create a brand guide that does, because it is super, super important to always incorporate your own story and make your content a little bit more personal. But if you don't have it yet, this is what I want you to do. You're going to write your own script for each individual hook that you have in terms of personality-based content. I'm going to give you an example.
Or the girl who got engaged at 16 and married at 19. But regardless, I wanted to reintroduce myself.
This is basically an introductory post.
I grew up right outside of Milwaukee in Wisconsin. As a child, I was an abomination. Some even may say deranged, ADHD filled, and stubborn as hell. There was nothing special about me, but I always knew I wanted to do something great. At 14 years old, I started dating this muscular hottie named Ben. About a year into our relationship, we read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which led us to starting a real estate investing company at age 15. And by the time I graduated high school at 17, we acquired $1 million in rental properties. Right after I graduated, I noticed all of these business owners building big personal brands on social media. So I decided to start posting short form content to do the same. In the first month, I got 50,000 followers.
Okay, so you get the gist. She's obviously sharing her story. Her framework is, hi, my name is Ava. Obviously, you fill in your own name. You know me as blank, but regardless, I want to reintroduce myself. At age, I started blank. Again, this is where you share your story. I was, 35 when I started my business, and it led to blank. In the first month, I generated so much income, or I got my clients this amount of results. This is where you're building credibility, you're sharing your own story, your experience. If you had a failure, share that, and then what you did after that. You can use the same call to action, and hers is essentially follow me to see where this journey takes me. Since you added that credibility piece though, you can still use a call to action that points to one of your paid offers. For example, she could have said, if you want help growing your own personal account like I've been able to do for my clients, comment the word whatever, and I will reach out to see how we can work together. Again, you need 6 of these personality storytelling types of content. They do not all have to be scripted. You can do different forms of content. You can add B-roll, which is essentially just filming a video clip, throwing trending audio over it, and adding text on screen. If you want to share your story, I will show you an example of that as well, of one of my clients whose personality storytelling content actually went viral. This is Natalie. This one is her storytelling content, and this piece of content got over 1 million views. So again, it's sharing her story, where she started to where she is now. And then, of course, in the caption, we elaborated a little further. And this video alone has generated over $5,000 in sales for her and over 1 million views. So that is another great example of a B-roll way of doing it. And then Ava, the first one, is a great example of a scripted way of sharing your own story. Now, once you've got all 6 of your personality posts, you've got your 12 authority posts and your 12 engagement posts. Now we're ready to plug them into your content calendar, which is tab 3 of your spreadsheet. As you can see, I have the content calendar broken up by week. So if you scroll down, we've got week 1 here, we've got week 2, week 3, and week 4. Of course, you will want to duplicate this for every month of content that you're creating so that you can continue using this. But to start, I've got week 1 separated by days of the week. As you can see, obviously the dates are not accurate, so if you just double click, a calendar will pop up and you can choose the correct date. Like today is April 4th, but I'm planning for Monday, which would be the second week. So I'm gonna do March 31st, Tuesday. In the next row, we've got our 3 different content pillars so that you know to separate them out. Again, we did 12 engaging posts, so you want to make sure that you go through and you sprinkle in 12 different engagement posts. So what we'll do here is I'll start with 1, 2, throw in something else, 3. Friday is great for personality because Fridays people are really sluggish. They're done with the week. They don't want to come on and learn anything. They just want to scroll. They just want to doom scroll. So sharing your story personality types of content are most likely to go viral. So I always recommend those on Fridays, but of course do whatever your heart desires. And then we need to sprinkle in a few more engaging posts. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, scrolling down, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This one we're gonna have to change because we've got a few too many. Okay, so now we've got 11, 12, and then we're going to change this one as well. And now we're going to go through and make sure that we have 12 authority posts. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need a lot more here, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do here is sprinkle them in a little bit more. So we've only got 1 on week 3, so we're gonna add another one in here. I'm gonna change out some of the personality, so we're gonna do 7. We don't need personality on both of those days, so we're gonna do 9, 3 personality in a row. 10. This content planner is 28 days because we've got 4 weeks of 7 days, so that's 28. So again, we're still missing 2. So I will just note down here that we have 1 authority that is being left out, and then we needed 6 personality. So right after that, we've got 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. So honestly, we have got too many. So instead of having 2 personality this week, I am just going to change this one to authority because we're missing an authority one, right? Okay, so we'll remove that. Again, I'm gonna count them up again. So personality, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I miscounted, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so for this one, we need a personality post for the next calendar. And then let's count up the authority. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're still short on 1 authority post. So that'll make up for the 2 posts that we are missing because we have 28, we need 30. So we need an authority post. Okay, so with that being said, we should have enough of the engagement post, but let's double check. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now we're good to go. Usually when I film and edit the content, I will upload it to a Google Drive, and then I will add that link to the content planner. As far as offer and purpose, each piece of content should have a purpose. So that is your call to action. So what is your call to action? These links are just placeholders. So to pull the call to action, I am going to go over to this tab where my scripts are. And then this, so let's see here. This one was an engagement one. Okay. So the call to action was want best hooks, grab my free Reels framework. So that was the purpose of this one. I am going to paste that in here. It should not be hyperlinked like that. So I am just going to remove the link. And remove the underline. That's really gonna bother me. I don't want an underline. There we go. And then the caption, you can write out your caption here as well. Hashtags, if you care about hashtags. I don't personally care about hashtags. And then I also use this for my own marketing clients. So if they review this and have any sort of revisions, this is where they leave me their notes. Of course, if this is not relevant to you, you can go ahead and delete this whole section. But that is how I fill in my content calendar. Again, all of your content scripts should be on the second tab, so that way you can pull this up when you go ahead to film your content. Now, I know we covered a lot in this video and it can definitely be overwhelming. So if you want my team and I to do the content research, the scripting, and the editing for you, I left a link in the description for you to book a call with me so you can apply to work with us. All of the resources mentioned in this video are also linked in the description. I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, be sure to give it a like, and I will see you in the next one.